Hello GDQ submission staff, I'm Brian Otto, and this is my submission for Titanfall 2 All Helmets at AGDQ 2020. Titanfall 2 saw a very warm reception at SGDQ 2019, actually being the run with the peak viewership for that marathon, so that's pretty neat. Titanfall 2 is a sci-fi military FPS developed by Respawn Entertainment. They were responsible for the recent BR Apex Legends, which you may have heard of. Titanfall 2 runs on a heavily modified version of the source engine, which means we have access to some movement holdovers from that engine, like air strafing and bee-hopping, which is pretty cool. We'll get to that later. The biggest change you're going to notice immediately is that the game is in Mandarin. Mandarin is actually 36 seconds faster than English, and we only discovered this recently, mainly because testing languages is a big pain in this game, and we spent our time doing cool things, like, you know, writing strats like FTL or Super Curveball, so we couldn't be bothered to test individual segments for timing and languages. Anyway, so the first movement tech we're going to have access to here is going to be slide hopping. So when you meet a certain speed threshold and you press crouch, you'll initiate a slide. And from a slide, you can jump and maintain your speed indefinitely. We also have access to some other movement mechanics in this game. Had to wait for an audio cue there. Such as double jumping, we have a wall run, we have a wall jump. And we also have air strafing. So air strafing occurs when you press left or right on the keyboard. And this subverts the speed cap that is normally in place when you hold W, and it allows us to go faster, jump farther, clear larger gaps. It's pretty cool. I'm going to grab a rocket launcher here, a little used to boost myself, and I'm going to skip a reload animation by reloading this gun and then picking up the other one. So this category is called All Helmets. I don't know why my weapon switched. It's called All Helmets, and the goal of All Helmets is to collect all of the 46 helmet collectibles that are scattered throughout the game. I would say the best comparison for this category would be like all Celeste, all red berries. Very simple, or very similar idea. There are obviously a lot less helmets than there are berries in Celeste, but so this didn't go as well as I wanted, but that's okay. It's a very easy recovery, and this is the first helmet of the game. A 20-second Gauntlet is pretty fine for all helmets. You normally want it to be a bit faster, but that's okay. And we exit the Gauntlet and then re-enter it to skip some of Lastimosa's dialogue here. And that is the majority of the gameplay in the Gauntlet. The rest of this is mostly on rails here. So Lastimosa, we don't really know why exactly he's training us. But he sees something in us, and we're never going to find out why, because he's going to die in the next level. We're going to spend some time calling down a Titan here, which is the other big draw of this game, though we'll get to that later. And I'm going to go for a specific glitch that I haven't gotten in a marathon submission before, but we'll see if we can get it. So if you land on the section where you call down a Titan... dude, I always go early for it. That's fine. Normally you can get it to come in at like a very sharp angle, but not that time. So to provide some context for what's going on here, we're playing as Rifleman Jack Cooper. He is a militia, or he is a grunt in the militia, which is a rebellious military force that is fighting back against the IMC, or Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. They're this big, evil corporate conglomerate that goes from planet to planet across the frontier, takes all the resources from the planet, drives people from their homes, and so we're the group of people that are fighting back against it. At this point in the story, we're still just a rifleman, but that will soon change. Lots of foreshadowing that happens in this segment. Not that you can understand it anymore, I guess, none of it's not in English, but I'll be sure to provide context as the run goes on. All helmets, like any percent, is performed on easy. So that does not mean this run is easy. Titanfall 2 has over an hour of gameplay with just straight 3D movement, and has a very, very, very high skill ceiling. So now we're jumping into the second level, which is BT7274. And I don't think I actually got the difficulty selection too easy, so I'm gonna have to check the menu here really quick. I'm glad I checked because it was on hard. So the plot here for what's going on is that the militia were investigating this IMC-controlled planet because they had some sort of research facility there, and we wanted to see what was going on. And what we found was that the IMC had this planet super well fortified and were ready for us, and we're now crash landing behind enemy lines. This level in particular is really, really brutal. For the first 3 or so minutes of this level, we're only going to have access to one jump. Normally we'll have a double jump, but due to constraints of the game, we'll only have access to the first one. And there's a lot of mistakes that you can cover with your double jump in this game, and so it's extremely punishing to only have access to the first one. So I'd say right now we'd have a time for donation. If anybody in my Twitch chat wants to type exclamation donation. Greetings from Animal, long-time viewer, third-time runner. I am donating because my Germany has died from games. Poor Germany. So we just crash landed and got pumped full of some drugs. Now we're gonna get thrown out into battle. There's a little skip we can do here. I'm gonna go for a frag boost. This frag boost is kind of RNG dependent based on a grunt's position, but we'll see if we can get it. The idea here is that we want to go fast enough to get ahead of this drop pod that's crash landing. We're gonna go fast enough to get past it, but that grunt was in a really bad spot for me to set up the frag boost, so we're just gonna not go for it, which is fine. It only saves like about a second, so it's not terrible if you miss it. So this is the infamous 18-hour cutscene, named for some of the dialogue that happens in here. I've actually learned quite a bit of words in Mandarin thanks to running this game. I know how to say pilot, I know how to say the numbers 7, 2, and 4, I know how to say darn it, you know, lots of fun times with this. So this is Lastimosa, he's the guy that was training us, and he's gonna die. And I would certainly say we have time for another donation. Greetings from viewer, long-time donator, fourth-time viewer. I am donating because my donation has died from Animal. Poor donation. So these are the Apex Predators. They are a group of ruthless mercenaries that the IMC has hired to protect whatever it is they're doing here. We're gonna get to meet most of these guys, actually. You got Sloane on the left there, Ash walking in the background, Richter up front, Blisk back right there. The biggest loss of not being able to play on English is we don't get to hear JB Blanc's voice anymore. JB Blanc is the guy that normally did the voice acting for Blisk, but that said, some of the voice acting in Mandarin is pretty special. The dub I've heard is pretty bad for Mandarin speakers, but some of the VA is great. Like Lastimosa, which we'll hear in a sec, sounds like 20 years younger than he's supposed to. And the boss in the level after this in particular is very special. Another reason that this level is so hard is because collision in this game is very, very precise. And you'll see there's a bunch of rocks on this level. And all these rocks and little bumps and humps and ridges are all going to be able to affect our speed if we hit them at the wrong angle. So not only are we only going to have one jump, we're going to have to maneuver around all these as well. So the routing through here is based directly around the nooks and crannies that are present on this level. All helmets is actually my favorite category to run. I see it as kind of like a step up in difficulty from any percent, just because every helmet does have its own route, and I've done a lot of the routing for this category myself. I kind of helped build this category into what it is, so it holds a very special place in my heart. I take a lot of ownership over it. What's happening here is Lastimosa is transferring control of his pilot gear and his Titan to Cooper, which is something that never happens in the Titanfall universe. This is a really big deal. Pilots have a very low graduation rate from their training, and so transferring control to a run-of-the-mill grunt is unheard of. We are going to get access to Lastimosa's helmet and his jump kit, which is a little jetpack that goes around the abdomen that allows for us to do all of the cool things like bunny hopping and wall running and everything. So, the next movement tech I can talk about here is going to be the wall kick. So, Titanfall 2 updates at a native 60 ticks per second. And if you jump off a wall within 5 ticks or less, you're actually going to get a speed boost, an intentional programmed speed boost. So you'll start seeing that here. Wall kicks hold almost as much importance as air strafing or bee hopping. They are one of the things that make this game have such a high skill ceiling and so rewarding to run. If we jump backwards and grab a wall there, we can actually skip having to wait to get our sprint here and get a slide hop. I'm gonna grab the wall here, and we picked up the Eva shotgun. This shotgun is really important, mainly because it has a really high rate of fire, and also does a ton of damage at a very long range. So considering we're gonna be in people's faces most of the time, helmet get! It's gonna be good for us. So this is the really difficult beginning segment with only one jump. We're gonna use a little strafe-induced, nice little strat there to skip having to run on that wall. And then if a wall, normally you can't grab onto the same facing surface after you jump off it, but if a wall is curved like that, we can use that to skip this entire room. Very difficult segment here called Death River. Has a very precise route. Doesn't look like much, but considering you only have one jump through there, that is, again, very punishing. Here's another one of the wall regrabs on a curved surface. And now pretty soon we're finally going to have access to our double jump here. We're going to cloak here as to try and influence this Prowler to do the same thing. Pop him, so he stays back. Now we have our double jump. There's a wall kick right there. This is going to be a chain of wall kicks back to back. Gotta walk around that barrel there. It can be pretty frustrating, same with this one. Nice. So we're trying to get a couple batteries to bring power back to the Titan. That's chilling back at our home base area there. We need to find one more after this. And coming up here is going to be what's called a slant boost. So due to a weird interaction and collision here, if you do a slide boost at a very sharply angled surface like this, you get a huge speed boost. You just get absolutely launched. We're going to use that momentum to go across this river. Throw a grenade, which we have to kill those guys to install this battery. One of them lived, that's fine. We're off. So here comes another new strat. This is called Boom Boom River Jump. I'm going to be using a frag boost to give myself a ton of speed across here and skip about 10 seconds of gameplay. Didn't get the frag boost, that's fine. We have tons of backups for this. This is the way we used to do it before the frag boost, so we'll be trying another frag boost right here. This one's called Josh Frag, named after Josh who found it. Wow, creative names. Now here's the most difficult segment in the level, Ravine. And I have to get some grenades from these grunts here. I didn't get any grenades, that's really unlucky. I missed a wall kick there, that's fine. I think I have enough speed to make this gap. It's going to be close. If I just do a far kick there. There we go. Okay, so that was sloppy but fine. I still need to get grenades though. Really, really crucial that I have at least 3 grenades. So a little bit of RNG here with that. Killed that guy. No grenades. There we go. We got grenades. Cool. Small time loss having to kill those guys, but we got grenades, so it worked out. The movement through the ship is really hard just because of all these little panels and everything on the ground. Very frustrating. And the best strat here is literally just to mash jump as fast as you can. You can get like a hole-in-one sort of thing looking here, but it doesn't always work out. Okay, there we go. Now this helmet coming up here is very, very difficult. I'm going to need a very precise slant boost, and I need to angle my air strafe in just the right way to hit an invisible wall at the right angle. Cool, so that was probably like the second fastest variant of that strat. You can actually hit that wall at such an angle that you just get launched across that gap without having to do another wall kick, but it worked out. So these are 2 very precise grenade throws to clear all these enemies. And I missed the first one, that's okay. I think I missed the second one too, it looks like. Unless one of those guys is still alive. Nope, it was that one. Cool. He was playing dead, I couldn't tell. Oh well. Anyway, helmet get. Both the helmets for this level are done. This level in particular isn't too different from any %, but once we move on to the next level, Blood and Rest, that's when things are really going to get kicked into high gear. So now we're getting into our Titan. You can think of Titans in this game as heroes from a MOBA or, you know, a hero shooter like Overwatch or Apex Legends. This Titan in particular, BT, is a Vanguard class. It's a special one. We're going to be able to swap between different Titan loadouts. Those are going to be the different classes, and they're all going to have different strengths and weaknesses. Pros, cons, we'll always be using the right one for the situation. There's not a ton of RNG in this game. There's a bit more in all helmets than any %, but this is one of the only truly random segments in the game, just due to the way that the Vortex Shield, which we're about to have access to, behaves. The Vortex Shield is going to capture enemy bullets, and if they're hit scan bullets, which means they don't have a travel time, they will do splash damage, which means we can use them to clear these entire groups of enemies. But sometimes the Vortex Shield is not what I would call consistent, and so there can be quite a few different ways that this area plays out. Titan Tutorial is a historically frustrating segment. Because we got a good spread here. We'll see if we can kill these guys in one burst. Nah, see, there's the RNG right there. So because that happened, we lost about 2 seconds. It'd be like that. This is our Acolyte pod, or a multi-target missile system. There we go. And then one more little barrage here. Now we're going to be moving on to our first, I guess you can say, quote-unquote, boss fight of the game. We're going to be fighting another Titan here called the Brute. And so this fight, it can be pretty simple. So after he drops, we're going to hesitate a bit, drop our Electric Smoke, which does damage over time, shoot him to pop his Vortex Shield, then while his Vortex Shield's up, we charge the missiles, shoot the missiles, shoot the middle spot for the crit, didn't get any crits, that's fine, and then we're done. That was pretty decent. So now I'm going to stand right here and get ready for an audio cue. If I go too far forward, BT will put the waypoint over there and that's slow, so I want to wait so he puts it right here. There we go. And we are out of BT. So this is kind of like the out of the frying pan into the fire sort of thing. BT is an extremely difficult level. Blood and Rust is debatably harder. This is the first level that has dramatic changes because of all helmets routing, and it's really, really fun to play as well. So this first part is going to be primarily Titan movement. And so Titan movement's pretty simple. Whenever you dash off a ledge, you want to hold crouch, because you actually end up retracting your legs and you're in the air for longer, so no friction. You want to always have a boost charging. You don't want to waste any time. When you with 2 boosts charging, you're just losing time. You want to dash off ledges, and you also want to be boosting when you go around corners. BT's pretty heavy, so he'll tend to kind of throw his weight around corners, and you can counteract that with a boost. Titans can't jump, they can only dash. And so coming up here, I'm going to be grabbing the first helmet on this level and using a technique called a disembark jump, or at least attempting to. If you hold jump during the right time during the disembark animation, you will actually get a launch straight up, just like that. It makes this helmet pretty fast. And all of the Titan and Bark animations are the same speed, so it doesn't really matter from what position we approach BT. And then right after this, we have another disembark jump coming up here. This helmet can be pretty fun if you hit it correctly. It's very dependent on the disembark jump, though. Good. So there I did something that's called a tap strafe. So a tap strafe was developed by a runner named Reginald, one of the top runners for this game, and it happens when you tap W rapidly while doing a left or right strafe. I'll explain the rest of it after this audio cue. So after you jump in this game, and then you tap a directional input on digital inputs, you get what's called a strafe lurch. And when we're holding left or right and we tap W, we can stack multiple strafe lurches, which is kind of like a jarring motion in the direction that you're strafing, to get these really, really tight corners very quickly, which are normally not attainable in this game. So tap strafing is just one of the many things that adds depth to this game, and is super sick. Decent frag boost there. Oh, I nailed that strat. That is not an easy route. Third helmet right here, which is also going to be using tap strafing. That was a bunch of tap strafes in a row to do those sharp corners like that. Tap strafing allows us to do these kind of like weird diagonal strafes that wouldn't be possible without it. This fourth helmet here can be particularly challenging. And this is primarily because of the geometry stacked around these pipes here. Like this wall kick right here is very, very finicky, and that pipe does not like to be wall ran on. Whoop, I took a bit of a weird route here, but that's fine. Let me see, there's a little bit of improv here. I don't normally have that approach. There we go. This segment can be a little bit random and a little frustrating just due to how many enemies are kind of like smushed in here, so we got to be careful coming through. That's the reason we use the EVA. And now here comes one of the defining features of the all helmets category that really sets it apart from any percent. Is we get to grab the EPG, which is a sick rocket launcher that we're going to use to boost ourselves, and we'll have this for quite a few levels here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's all the helmets. I love this level for this category. This segment in particular is really, really hard. and even a little bonk there is fine, that's expected. So the thing about the EPG is that it actually has a risk to kill you. Like, this thing will one-shot you if you shoot too close, or shoot too closely to your feet, so every single EPG boost is a bit of a balancing act between health management and also speed. This is a big skip called Sledge Skip. So we manipulated BT's dialogue to cause him to stand right next to this fence. We didn't want him to leave too early, and we didn't want him to finish his dialogue too late. So by getting him to say his dialogue at just the right time, we can actually do that unintentional jump across the gap there, and it skips a huge wave fight. That is called a Toxic Skip, and it saves a ton of time. Also, somebody said they would tip me $10 if I called it Toxic Skip, so I called it Toxic Skip. Alright, and so here is my favorite voice acting in the entire game. Please enjoy Mandarin Kane. Wow! It's so good. Mandarin Kane is a work of art, man. I love him. Alright, so this loadout we're using is going to get a partial missile lock every time we get a shot on an enemy, and we can stack missile locks to put multiple missile barrages into one enemy. Also here with Kane, we're going to be playing around his flame shield, so we're going to be that blocks all incoming damage. So right there I did what's called a swap reload, which means I swapped to another Titan loadout and then back to the one I was using, which is faster than reloading by about 3/4 of a second. And this, I believe, is actually a world record blood and rust for all helmets. So that's pretty cool. That was a pretty gnarly blood and rust, man. Very happy with that. So now we're gonna have access to this little module that was attached to Kane's helmet. That's gonna allow us to listen in on enemy comms. And until then, we have some time for donations. Had to donate during this run. Put my money toward save the viewer. Let's kick Games' butt. That was like actually pretty close to a real donation. We're using Taskinos as a donation generator. Had to view during this run. Put my money toward donate the Germany. Let's kick viewers' butt. Thanks! So now we're on to Into the Abyss. This is the first mission that is broken up into 3 different chapters. This mission in particular is drastically different on all helmets, and I love it. This level is super heavy on the EPG boosting movement, and it can be very, very tricky, so we'll see what we can get done here. Normally at 90% this level is all Titan movement, but much more pilot movement heavy level. So we're going to come down here, do a little disembark boost there. Grab this helmet. EPG boost. Didn't get a big EPG boost, that's fine. We gotta be really careful when EPG boosting on the water, because the projectile doesn't explode on the ground underneath the water. It explodes on the surface of the water, so we have to account for that when managing our health there. So that was pretty good. Would have liked better movement in between helmet 1 and 2, but that's fine. We're gonna pick up Scorch here, and he's gonna be a wildly important Titan later on. He does unrivaled DPS, both in an AoE and an up close, so we'll be using that a lot. And as you can see, we're kind of going into what looks like an assembly line here. And in this level only, the assembly line, these large walls, are going to be based on triggers. And so what we can actually do is get ahead of those triggers and boost to have one of the walls push us. That'll be coming up in just a bit here. First of all, though, we have another disembark jump strat. This one isn't as critically important. The backup is a lot easier, but getting a disembark jump is still very fast here. Got the disembark jump, that's good. Grab the helmet here, turn around. And I want to get an edge boost going back to... Did you see that grunt that was hanging up in the wall there? That was crazy. Okay, I'm not going to talk about edge boosting because now we have to do this strat. So here we go. I have to maybe wait for a wall here. Nope, okay, we're good. So I'm going to be boosting at 2 very precise points here to get ahead of these assembly line. Okay. Got it. Perfect, dude. Nice, man. That's really good. That saves about 10 seconds. So now coming up here, we're going to switch to Scorch. And we're going to be using all of his abilities. We're going to go all in to clear this door as quickly as possible, because all these Titans have to die to clear the door. Every Titan has access to an ultimate ability or a core that we use, and we used Scorch's right there. we pick up Brute here, who is also an important Titan, and we'll get him. We'll talk about him a bit more later too. So here's the last helmet down here. We use the little tap strafe to get around that corner, and when you revert to checkpoint, it actually keeps your helmet collection. So that's pretty cool. Very difficult EPG boost strat here. We'll see if I can get it. Oh, tell me I got it, dude. Oh, so close. Okay, so that's still technically the strat, but you don't want to mantle there. You want to do that smooth. That was still pretty sick, though. Like, I almost got it. That one is extremely hard. Probably one of the harder EPG boosts in the game. And fun fact, after you press this button, right here, the kill floor at the bottom of this area disappears. So we use that to get to the very bottom, and it saves a couple seconds. So I gotta say, that was a really solid... Into the Abyss Chapter 1. I'm very happy with that. Now we're on to the Into the Abyss Chapter 2, which if you're familiar with Titanfall speedruns at all, you'll know that this level is a bit of a tragedy. A bit of a tragedy. There's a ton of cool movement that goes on here, but this is, by all intents and purposes, an auto-scroller. You hate to see it. That said, the movement here can still be pretty neat. But we're not going to be under any sort of like a time crunch to grab the helmets. Though we do get to see some gameplay that you don't normally get to see in any percent. Normally in any percent, we'll be taking this really safe route along the outside of the level, which saves a lot of like the crushing hazards and stuff. But there's a helmet that's scattered in the middle of the assembly line here, or placed in the middle of the assembly line, and we can't take that route. We're going to pick up the Spitfire here. And the Spitfire has a huge magazine and is also super accurate. So we'll be using that quite a bit for later combat levels. I'm going to go for like a swag strat here. This is a swaggy little platform boost. Doesn't save any time, but it looks cool if you get it. We mantled there for some reason. Not really sure why, but that's okay. Again, we're not losing any time. So before we knew this level was an auto-scroller, this is like within a few months after the game came out. This is like a long time ago. Before we knew this level was an auto-scroller, this skip right here was like one of the most important skips to hit in the game. And I used to spend like hours practicing this because I didn't really understand air strafing, but it's much easier for me now. I don't struggle with it anymore. So this is the route you don't normally get to see in any percent. Because the helmet that we're going toward is over there. Just got to make sure that we don't get knocked off any edge, knocked off the edge or anything like that. Because any death on this level, you can bet your bottom dollar it's gonna cost you around 15 seconds. That said, I'll still go for another little swaggy jump here. I mean, why not? At a marathon run, you could do safety strats, or you can like show off all the cool stuff your game has to offer, right? Nice. Cool. Nice little momentum boost there. Come up here, grab the helmet, and we're back. We'll do another little fun like momentum boost here to get us in there. Unfortunately, in all helmets, we don't have the time to go for red versus blue. I know it's a crowd favorite, but not this time. Hopefully, maybe instead I can get a Falcon Kick. Falcon Kick! Nice, we got it. Cool. So right now we're just waiting for this platform to come into place. The last helmet isn't until well at the end of the level. So we're just going to kill these ticks to make sure they don't mess with us too much, because they can do a lot of damage to us even on easy. So can these stalkers. They're bad news as well. Probably have time for a couple donations as well while we wait for this. Thanks to the donator and those working behind the scenes. Glad to view such a worthy cause. Put this frames toward donator's choice. Loving this year's GDQ. I had to save during my favorite games of all time. Good luck to all the donators. Cancer goes towards runner's choice. Wow. Yikes. Had to kill during this run and put my money toward view the donation. Let's kick Games' butt. Alright. So we have a pretty cool strat coming up here, which was found by Taskinos, our resident glitch lord from down under. If so when you jump off a moving surface of this game, as you've seen before, you're gonna get your momentum preserved, and that applies to when a surface rotates vertically as well. So this crane arm right here is gonna rotate up, and we're gonna jump off at a very specific time, and it's gonna launch us straight up to the top here. This strat's called dome launch, and it's super sick. Very good strat. I think we got the good one. Hell yeah, brother. Very nicely done. So now, this is the, okay, if I haven't ran this category for a bit, and like I've been playing a lot of any %, this is the #1 helmet I will forget every single time, is this one right here. Tucked away in the corner after like a very difficult strat. You just don't think about it. So we get this, so that's the last helmet. I have forgotten that. That has killed many a run, forgetting that helmet. But now after this, we have a pretty neat strat coming up, and this one has some cool history to it. There's a big wave fight that's supposed to happen here, but instead, we're actually going to be able to skip it. And so what we used to do is we used to do this, like, we used to wait right there for a while, and then like the game would like kind of pop us out of bounds. But a dev for Respawn actually saw our 2017 SGDQ submission and said, hey, just so you know, there's a faster way you can do this. And so we found that the faster way is just this hole in the wall right here. So shout outs to that dev who told us there's a faster way. He didn't tell us how. He did give us a hint, and that's it. There's just a hole in the wall. And I believe after my SGDQ 2019 run, I had a developer on Respawn actually contact me on Twitter to say that they did purposely leave that in, hoping that somebody would find it one day. So pretty neat. And if we just stand right here, the game just puts us on top of the end level trigger, and we're through. And so now we're on to one of the hidden bosses of this game, Into the Abyss Chapter 3. There are a lot of critical strats on each of the Abyss chapters, which makes this level a huge run killer. This is where good runs go to die. Abyss 3 especially. This is also the last level where we'll be using primarily using EPG boosting. This first helmet's kind of fun. We don't get to do a skip, but we do get to do a fun movement strat. So I'm gonna count the lights on the right here. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. Now I'm gonna be going for an end boost right here, which is a boost that you get if you jump from a wall during the very end frames of your wall run animation. This is a strat called Decept Caverns, named after S Deception. I hate bonking that pipe there. I've been doing it a lot lately too. I hope I can still get the cycle. If it wants to give me a slide boost, no it didn't. Okay, so let me see if I can get ahead of this. I don't have a double jump. Okay, we're in damage control right now, so I'm improvising. Grab the wall, please. Okay, I think what I have to do here is I'm just gonna have to get in position to get another platform as it's coming across. Now let's see. I think let's do this. Yeah, that's fine. So this is really bad. This is like worst case scenario, but that's okay. Blocking that pipe super messed me up. And the reason it messed me up is because there's something in this game called the slide boost timer, where after you get a slide... Hello? After you get a slide boost, you can't get another slide boost for a few seconds. And so I just ended up trying to get a slide boost too early, over and over and over again. And it ended up just completely killing my momentum, and I wasn't able to get the cycle. So now, at the end of this segment here, we're going to have our second and last out-of-bounds skip in the game. This is called Ash Skip, and it's going to be skipping a very, very random boss fight, so I'm very happy this skip exists. We're going to be using the flight ability with this Titan loadout in particular, and we're going to use that to stand in an unintended location. And when we disembark in this location, the game's going to put us in the only other spot where both BT and Cooper can stand up, which just happens to be out of bounds. Very convenient. And sometimes if you get the right angle at this pipe, you can just run straight up it. Doesn't look like we got it, that's okay. And now we're going to walk across this razor's edge around the trigger for Ash fight. And then once we get down here, we're gonna do the same thing where we're going to disembark clip through a wall. An invisible wall, in this case. The alternative name for this strat is Solitaire Skip. Due to the Hall of Mirrors effect that you see on the outside here. And so fortunately, this skip works because this is the only other level where the end level trigger is present at all times. And boop, there it is. So this is the point where I would say it is a real run. We are out of the abyss, which is no easy task. And now we're on to effect and cause. So our goal so far has been to rendezvous with another pilot that performed a recon mission, Major Anderson. You might have heard BT say the word Anderson, I'm not sure, in Mandarin. But this is Anderson's last known location. And you can already tell that something is amiss here. Something isn't quite right. Time seems to be warping at random. And if you played this game casually, this is going to be the mission where you were like, oh yeah, this is the mission. This is the one you told all your friends about. Alright. So this strat right here is going to require quite a few precise frag boosts, wall kicks, to get the speed I need to carry me out across this gap. Not quite the positioning I want, but this is still a pretty decent amount of speed we have here. Good. And so, we found Anderson. He is like somehow inexplicably stuck in the floor. That was there in the present and in the past, so we don't really know how that happened. An unfortunate part about helmet get, by the way, this doesn't count as an all helmets collection, but you know, we count it for fun. An unfortunate part about this level is that for some reason the game doesn't have any values for the EPG in this level, so it'll just replace your EPG with a pistol. So we're not allowed to boost with it, but it's nice having it while it lasts. The EPG is one of my favorite parts about this category. We're going to pick up that shotgun though from before, which is just conveniently sitting right there. And unfortunately, we have a while to wait for some dialogue here, so while we could have had, they could have placed some like really creative helmet locations here, these are both in like the most obvious locations of all time. And we already have both the helmets in this level, so sad. So we definitely have time for one donation. While we get up to the top here. That was a very spooky noise. Thanks to the viewer and those working behind the scenes. Glad to donate to such a worthy cause. Put this animal toward runner's choice. Another great day of GDQ. Love watching my childhood games get destroyed. Wow, this is accurate so far. Money goes to view the cancer, donate the games. That was so close to being a real one. Wow. So this is a pretty cool strat right here. BT's going to pick up this, I don't know, lamppost and then throw it up there, and a zip line's going to appear on it. We're actually going to grab the zip line as it appears in midair. And very soon after that strat, there's going to be my favorite strat I've ever found for this game called FTL. So as you can see, the time swaps have been happening kind of at random so far, or at least without our control. But we can position ourselves to be in certain areas that benefit us when time swaps back to the other timeline. So I'm going to position myself in a certain timeline, and when time swaps back to the other one, I'm going to be standing inside of a laser grid. And that laser grid is going to shoot me out at a massive speed, and I'm going to use that to get down that bridge up there at a very quickly. And the reason this strat is so hard is because if you're not going fast enough, you'll actually end up basically soft locking the game. So very important to get through there quickly. So the strat is called FTL, and I hope we get it. I'm going to set up a safety save because I want to get this strat. This might be fast enough, it'll be close. Yes, dude, first try FTL. Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really dope. And that is a world record Effect and Cause Chapter 1. That's a gold split for this category. How about that, dude? That's pretty neat. 342.79. So here is the other half of Anderson. And now we're going to grab his wrist-mounted device, which allows him to swap through time at will. And we'll get the best tooltip of all time, press middle mouse button to time travel. And so this level's pretty sick, dude. It has, this level is almost all movement based. There's no real big skips here. This level's just about like how quickly can you move through the game. And I am currently not moving through the game very quickly. But we have different strats or different timelines. It just looks really cool when you play it fast, which is not what I'm doing right now. There's also 6 helmets on this level, so as far as all helmets goes, this is one of the most difficult levels in the game and features some very extreme strats. This first one isn't too bad though. This first one's at the top of the elevator, so I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think actually I'm 1 ahead. Yeah, cool, we're good. Normally I jump 7 times, but that's fine. Little tap strafe right there. So now Anderson is delivering us some plot, which I will deliver to you once all the plot has been delivered, don't worry. The next helmet's going to be at the end of this long hallway down here. I'm going to be trying to bonk the ceiling at the right angle and then generating enough speed via strafing while I descend to give me a slide boost when I hit the ground. It'll be very difficult. Watch for the T-pose here too. T-pose. Alright. There's the head bonk and almost got there. So I didn't generate the right amount of speed, but that's okay. So now coming up here, I have a very precise frag boost. I'm going to basically focus on my positioning here and not try and talk for too long because I need to hit a very precise dialogue or audio cue. And this is a lot harder for me on Mandarin than it ever was in English. So I'm going to be silent while I wait for this to happen. That's fine, didn't get the big one. That's okay. This next helmet's pretty cool. I like this helmet a lot. Slide off here. And then swap, slide boost. I love that helmet, dude. It looks really clean. Didn't quite get the route I wanted there, that's fine. Now here comes Hell Room. This is one of the most difficult rooms in the entire game in any category. This room right here. 3 helmets in this room. A million different ways to get through. I'm going to go for the one that we have found to be the fastest. Missed the wall kick, that's fine. Not the worst wall kick to miss. Nice. Okay, so aside from missing the wall kick, that was pretty smooth. I may not have a lot of speed right here, but trust me when I say that room can be so much worse. Like, the amount of all helmets runs that room is killed. Also, 6 swirly, dude. Yeah, the amount of difficulties that room in particular has caused me, I'll call it a success. And that is the end of Effect and Cause Chapter 2. So a pretty decent Effect and Cause Chapter 2, if I may say so myself. Considering how difficult that is in this category. And now we're on to the final chapter of Effect and Cause. This level features no helmets. But it's pretty short and sweet, and we do save a couple seconds with Mandarin here. I haven't gone for the strat in a while, but I think I'll go for the, I'm going to go for a pretty silly strat here called Time Swap RTO. Nope, come on. There we go, alright. Or Time Stop RTO, let's see if I can get it. I hope I hit the trigger, dude. I hope I hit the trigger. Ah! Please tell me I hit the trigger. Yes! Nice, dude. That's pretty cool. Alright, that's pretty sick. So what happened there is, I'll explain that after this, because we have another crazy strat coming up. This one is called Shift Skip, and I haven't done this for a while either. But it's fine. I'm just like a god at this game, man. I haven't done Shift Skip in like a month. No problem. You just jump off like a very obscenely angled piece of debris in midair to skip having to jump on a ship, and it saves 2 seconds. Hell yeah, dude. That's pretty cool. Alright. That's pretty neat. So, Shift Skip is really hard. That saves 2 seconds but loses 17. And the strat I did before, when you initiate an animation and do a time swap at the same time, you can actually confuse the game as to which timeline you're in due to the way the level is constructed. And so when I swap time, the game tries to put me in the other timeline, but it's not there. So it puts me way up in the sky, but it keeps my vertical position. So I use the boost from the laser grid to launch me straight backwards, and then I hit the triggers out of order. And if I did it first try, it would have been faster, but I didn't do it first try, so it wasn't faster. But it still looks cool. That's what matters, right? And so what we've learned about the plot is that the IMC are developing a super weapon that folds space and time, and they tested out on the moon, and it backfired, which is why everything's messed up there. But now they're going to use the super weapon on the militia planet of Harmony. So this game is basically like Halo meets Star Wars, because the technology they're using is like ancient technology that they found and they didn't build and they resurrected and everything. Anyway, so now we're on to the Beacon Chapter 1, and this level sucks. All this geometry that you're seeing here is a suggestion. I wouldn't. It's not actually how it appears. So if I get through here clean, just remember that I have failed on here millions of times and spent many a run raging at the geometry here. This dialogue skip, though, coming up, pretty neat. This was found by Tron Javolta. And how this works is you have to get down here and kill all these enemies that are attacking this hub room, where some militia dudes are chilling. And this is going really slow. Holy cow, I need to hurry up. And you have to get back to BT quickly. And if you do it fast enough, BT will actually skip all of his dialogue talking to the militia that are trapped inside there, and it saves about 45 seconds. It's pretty neat. It doesn't make this level any less terrible, though. And, you know, all of our Mandarin time save, or all of the time save from Mandarin, comes from dialogue in this game, not necessarily cutscenes or anything else. And this level is entirely dialogue-based, and for some perplexing reason, we don't save any time here in Mandarin. So this level is equally bad, both in no matter the language you play. So, anyway. So we'll come in here. We picked up Ronin, which is another important loadout. And now BT is going to meet Cole. They're going to talk a lot, and we're not going to save any time, even though they're talking a lot. It's fine. And we'll be on to the Beacon Chapter 2. So now we're chilling. Had to save during this run. Put my money towards save the viewer. Let's kick donations butt. Thank you. So now we're onto the Beacon Chapter 2, and normally in any percent, this level features a very difficult skip known as Kill Room Skip, but Kill Room, the level or the area that we normally skip, actually has a helmet in it. So this level is a lot more combat based than it is in any percent. So it still has some pretty neat strats. Kill Room in particular is pretty difficult because I have frags right now, and it's hard to do the room efficiently with frag grenades, but it's pretty neat. This level still features some pretty cool skips, which we'll be doing later on. That's fine. This is probably my favorite IL to run as well, as it has a really, really nice flow to it, and it's extremely movement based. It requires everything that you know about pilot movement to do efficiently. And what we're going to pick up at the end of the hallway here is the softball. This is a little grenade launcher that we're going to be using to boost us. But first of all, let's get the helmet. Throw the grenade, so it's close in midair. I don't think it actually hit anyone, so I'm going to throw another one at the floor here. And so this is pretty slow. Yeah, that's a yikes for me, dog. That's fine. Now we're going to be using the softball boost to help us hit these wall kicks here. Nice, we got the drone frag boost strat too. That's pretty cool. You shoot the drone with the grenade, and the grenade doesn't explode until like after the drone explodes, so you like go through it and then get a boost from it. Pretty cool. Now we're gonna grab the arc tool. This is gonna be the big shooty zappy gun. That's kind of the gimmick for this level. There's like a little invisible wall underneath this fan, so we can just kind of go under the fan to grab it. Boom. Second helmet for the level coming up here. We're going to be using holding our double jump till the right time here to get us a nice little launch to grab the wall. Nice. And you can just grab that helmet even though you don't actually touch the platform, which is pretty cool. This is fast, man. Up. I had to say something, didn't I? I had to. All right, here we go. This is now coming up here. This is heatsink skip. I'm going to be using a frag boost to skip a large movement puzzle. Saves about 20 seconds. Woo! We got a very nice one too. Getting a light mantle animation there is always good. And so now, coming up here is fast fans, and we're going to be using all this momentum from this large fan pushing us and converting it into a single wall kick here. Did I get single wall kick fast fans? Woo! That is fast! Normally you need at least two, also heck you Tron. You normally need at least 2 wall kicks to get through there, but we did it with 1, and that means you went really fast. That was an excellent Beacon Chapter 2, despite the hang-ups on Kill Room. So, and now we're on to the Beacon Chapter 3. And fortunately for us, there are a ton of dialogue time saves due to Mandarin on this level. We save 12 seconds in Mandarin on this level alone. This level accounts for one third of all the time save. And due to the language here, so it's pretty neat. What we're gonna do now is we're trying to restore power to that really large satellite dish that's out there, so we can talk to the militia. But it's currently powered off, so the reason we have the big shooties out again is so we can power it back on. They're gonna spend a lot of time talking about how this radiation is really, really dangerous, but you can literally, you can literally like take a nap in here, come back, and you'll still be alive. So, Chernobyl, this is not. It's kind of interesting too. Most of the usually when there's like time save and dialogue, it comes from enemies it comes from dialogue when people are saying numbers. The number dialogue in Mandarin is just way faster than English for whatever reason. That said, we're chilling for a while now, while the thing we powered on breaks and then we have to go fix it. So we'd certainly have time for donations. First time watching GDQ, 4th time donator. My viewer passed away from games. Money goes to kill the donation, kill the cancer. Hype! Thank you. So now what happens here is we have Ronin, but we're going to be switching back to that other Titan loadout that let us fly for a very important reason. Normally you're not supposed to be able to disembark. Whoops, I forgot to do a boost there. That's fine. Normally you're not supposed to be able to do to disembark while you're flying, but if you manage to wedge yourself in a corner or something and disembark while you're flying, a very strange interaction happens. Or due to the way the game reads flight, you end up having your gravity reduced by 15%, give or take a few hundreds there. And so that gives us an effect where we're now very floaty, as you can see. And so this is called Moon Boots. This is a really, really cool skip, or not skip, but glitch that's going to allow for some really cool stuff coming up here. Normally this segment's called Super Fastball, but there are some helmets we have to collect along the way. So this is the hardest part in any category in Titanfall 2. So I'm definitely making a safety save here. In any case, please enjoy Super Curveball. Okay, so I missed a trigger, but that's fine. I can hit the trigger on the way back. I'm just going to lose a little bit of time to dialogue here. Please tell me I have enough height. Nice, here's a tap strafe. Getting shot there scared the heck out of me. Whoa, game stutter. Dude, yes. Alright, that is so hard to do that correctly. Little wall kick in here. Little tap strafe right there. Little shooty explosion boost right here. Heck yeah, man. That is clean. Missing the trigger is not a big worry right now because we did this so quickly. Okay, we're going to grab gravity stars here. And these things are going to create a gravity well that we're going to use to boost us. Oh, perfect. Beautiful. So here's the module that's going to allow the dish to go fast. I'm going to make another safety save here, as this is a very precise gravity star boost, followed by a ton of like really insane wall kicks. Oh! It's beautiful. Next helmet is tucked away in here. No, that's not in the right spot. Yeah, that's not going to do us any good. Alright, let's see if I can make this work. So you can see there's going to be a lot of dialogue that's about to start playing out. Normally this dialogue is supposed to be playing while we're doing all that movement, but we missed the trigger, so it's going to play out now. So normally in this category, what would happen is we would be doing part of this fight, but then like skipping the last part of it to start climbing while BT kills the rest of these enemies to get the rest of the helmets. We don't need to do that though now, because the dialogue is going to play out. It's going to be faster for us not to, or to actually just do the rest of the fight. So this fight in particular uses what's known as spawn manipulation. So enemies are going to spawn according to where I'm looking at certain increments, and so I'm going to be trying to, you can see that right there. I'm going to be trying to time my aiming at the right time to get these enemies while they spawn. Okay, I'm going to get out now. So what I'm listening for is like a bass drop, like a douche. That's going to indicate when all the enemies have been destroyed. I think that's it. I'm going to start climbing. There it is. So that's the base drop. Okay. So this first helmet right here. Next one. I'm not going super fast for this climb because quite frankly I don't have to. But now here's the, so as soon as that dialogue option disappears, the dish above me is going to start lowering, and I want to get to the dish when it reaches its final lowered position. Spooky jump here. Nice. Okay, so I'm a little bit far behind. I guess I needed to go fast. No, actually, I got there just in time. As soon as that green light appears, you're good. Nice, dude. Cool. This went pretty well. And so now we're gonna fall down here, and BT's gonna catch us in a fall that totally wouldn't break our back. Don't worry about it. BT gives us a little friendly thumbs up. And we're gonna swap back to Ronin, because Ronin in particular, if I can menuing hard. If I can menu, Ronin has basically a third dash ability called a phase dash. And it allows us to go really, really far. And also because we have moon boots, BT is like super slidey, so we use the full extent of that slide there. So this is all going to be spawn manipulation right here. The enemies are going to spawn according to where we're looking. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pretty fast. There we go. Next ones are going to spawn down here. Oh, that's the perfect. Oh, that's so beautiful, dude. Okay, so getting them to line up like that is so good. You have to like position yourself in a way that causes that Reaper to dash into the other one, and then killing him with one missile barrage is so fast. Let's see if I can keep the streak going with this fight here. Alright. Oh, that's not good. Alright, so I kind of flubbed it. That's fine though. That was almost really fast. Lost a few seconds there. Now here is Richter fight, and I am so sorry for Richter's VA. He speaks like Mandarin German, and it's just like... It's so bad. Anyway, this fight sucks because you can't damage him during this cutscene, even though he gets out right in front of you. But if we do enough DPS to him fast enough, he's going to end up self-destructing, which is faster than the alternative, which is us having to execute him when we have to execute him. So we messed up. And this is going to be a world record Beacon Chapter 3. This is gonna be a gold split for me by about 10 seconds. So that was pretty sweet, dude. The only thing I did wrong was I missed the trigger for the dialogue, and that's about it. That's about it. Everything else went really, really smooth, so. Now we're waiting for this dialogue to play out, and we're saving time on this dialogue, thanks to Mandarin. So we definitely got time for some donations. Yo, this might be a world record all helmets run. Maybe, Jojo. I am currently 31 seconds behind PB, so. Loving this year's GDQ. I had to save during my favorite donation of all time. Good luck to all the viewers. Viewer goes to donator's choice. Nice. Had to view during this run. Put this money towards save the cancer. Let's kick Frames' butt. That's not how that works.
正确，泰拉斯提摩沙上尉已阵亡。现在连线到的是代理铁狱步枪兵杰克库珀。
等一下，拉斯提摩沙要你连线步枪兵。
对，他没有别的选择。
了解，我们会将你转给合格的铁狱。
反对，库珀是我的铁狱。我们现在的作战效能评分超过90%，请求授权保持此连线。
BT， 你该庆幸我们无计可施。准许授权。库珀，有台机器很赞许你。
I think they usually don't read those ones,
社
Artelect.
会扫描资料，我们已经追踪其能量特征到 IMC 的提供新基地上。我们时间不多，快走吧。
Wow. This is a gold by 16 seconds. Holy crud. All right. Now we are on to Trial by Fire, and this level is unlike any other level in the game. So, Trial by Fire is a completely Titan combat based mission. This character in front of us right here, Sarah Briggs, the commander of this group of Titans, we're going to have to escort her to an elevator. This level is a bit less random than it is in 90% because we're going to be going slower due to the fact that we have to collect a couple helmets. And we're going to be not as reliant on her overall position. So this is mainly going to be based around good helmet collection and optimized damage. And how this is going to work is we gain core by doing damage to enemies. So I'm going to be trying to gain core as quickly as possible. And using cores over and over and over to clear as many enemies as possible here. Ronan has a pretty neat ability here, where called Sword Block. And when you hold up your sword, you block 75% of all incoming damage. So instead of having to wait for our allies to blow up these turrets here, we just walk right through them. And through this wall. Now we're going to switch to Scorch. And so how this works is there are multiple waves of Titans, and we have to clear a certain amount of enemies from each wave. There we go. Okay. Okay, that guy lived. That's annoying. Alright, I'm gonna maybe kill this guy too. Yeah. Please don't run back there. Thank you. Yeah, if I can get core here, this could work out well. There's a lot of enemies lined up here. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice, dude. Yep, that's good. I'd have to figure out where the Titans drop, though. I don't know where they dropped. There they are, right over here. Okay. I think I only need to kill 2 more, I think. Okay, there's the dialogue that we're good to go, but I'm going to kill another Titan here so I get my core. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to hope that Sarah doesn't get too caught up on these Titans, and we're going to move ahead here. If she doesn't get caught up on them, though, we have to collect these helmets, which normally is pretty slow, so... Okay. And then BT is right here. Dude, when he gets next to the fence right there, that's so good. Okay, and Sarah's here. So Sarah is caught up. That's perfect. Very beautiful. All right. I want to kill this Scorch as quickly as possible. I'm gonna keep Ronan out this entire time because we don't need to worry about clearing any of the enemies here. We're gonna swipe this guy twice. That was close. Arc wave these guys. Melee him while his shield's up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, that's not good. There we go. I don't know what this guy's doing. And I think Sarah's actually up here, so I gotta kill this guy quickly. Maybe. I don't know what the Scorch is doing. He is giving me the ring around right now. What a jerk. Okay, so Sarah's definitely gonna kill him, so I'm gonna move out ahead here. So a little bit unfortunate in that combat sequence. Getting pushed away like that was just very unlucky. This next helmet is tucked away down here. And the movement through here is like the worst, so that was relatively smooth, and I'm pretty happy with that. Tap strafing actually makes this segment way easier. There we go. Okay. This is pretty fast. This like could be a lot worse, so I'm pretty okay with this right now. Last helmet is after we get to the top of the elevator here. Sarah likes to say, that's the easy part here. Definitely not the easy part. That's the hardest part. The reason that we have Ronan here, though, is because Ronan's ultimate is called Sword Core. And with Sword Core, we have access to rapidly recharging dashes. So we're going to come down here and grab this last helmet, and then we're going to Sword Core cheese our way through the rest of the level. I want to get a little slide hop right there, get a double jump to go backwards. Nice. Where's BT? Hello, BT. Cool. Nice. Hopefully these guys don't get too in my way. Please get out of the way. Thank you. This is unusual positioning. I really hope I don't get blocked now. Good. And then once I get down to this next segment here, I'm going to be using my arc wave on both of these Titans. And then I want to rebuild for ASAP. There we go. Hello? There we go. Not sure what was going on there, but we got it. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna get tilted by that because this has gone pretty well so far. I'm gonna choose not to be tilted. Okay. I'm just making it. This movement is not as hard as I'm making it look, I promise. I mean, it's a little bit difficult, but it's not this hard. We got Superman Brute, that's pretty cool. And if we do a phase dash into this cutscene, we'll have phase dash back when the cutscene's over. That Brute being there is a little bit unlucky though, it means we can't do a fast strat there. Oh well. And so that was Trial by Fire. And so now we're on to the Arc. And this level is the thing. This level is a level that exists. The Arc is very difficult, and it's even worse on all helmets. Inside this level, we have a frag boost skip where we're going to be jumping from a moving ship to a moving ship. That is a little bit random, but a perfect frag boost negates that. But even if we hit that frag boost, there's a chance that we still die due to a bug with the fall timer in this level. This is the only level in the game with a fall timer. We also have one of the worst helmet collections, but there are still some pretty cool moments. This level also has my favorite boss fight, so the Arc is a wildly difficult level that just happens to occur as the second to last level in the game. The skip I'll be going for first off is called Barker Skip, and Barker Skip is going to require a very precise frag boost that I'll be using audio cues for. And then right after that, I'll be doing 6-4 Skip, which is going to be jumping from another moving ship to another moving ship. So, it is nutty. We'll get introduced to Viper here. He is a pretty cool villain and one of my favorite boss fights. Probably the most difficult boss fight in the game. We threw a grenade during that cutscene so that we'd have 4 grenades here. And if you look in the top right, BT's going to wave at us. Hello! And he's going to wave again. Hi! And then he appears right in front of us. Nice little, that has to be an Easter egg. That looks so intentional that they programmed it like, or animated it like that. Alright, so here we go. Barker Skip. I'll be happy if I get this within like the first 5 tries, to be honest. This thing's brutal. Oh, so close. I had my double jump completely eaten. I needed to strafe more to the left there to make that work. That was a little bit unlucky, but I also could have made that with proper strafing. Sucks to suck, man. Whoops, I pulled it late. Did I get lucky though? Okay, so I didn't get any fragments, but I just got really lucky. So that was like kind of bad RNG with like perfect RNG, so it works out. We'll take it, dude. So there's the first helmet right down there. I'll see if I can get a nice little boost here so I can have some momentum to get in there. Nice. I love that. I love doing it like that, man. That's pretty slick. Cool. We'll pick up the Mastiff, which will help us for a little clear down here. We're gonna cloak so we can get these guys don't get alerted to us. And there we are. So second Troy Barker, pretty solid, man. Definitely very solid. So what's coming up here is the game wants us to clear these 3 gun batteries, but we only actually have to clear the last one, which is nice. And the Mastiff is gonna help us do that. So I'll try to do a very precise grenade throw here. Oh, I mantled there, so we're improvising a little bit now. Got him. Nice, I think that's all of them. Nice, that was fast. We just have to hope that the 6-4 don't soft lock now. Come on, guys. Good, okay, we're good, we're good. So now what's going to happen here is Sarah's ship is going to rise up, but there's actually a helmet inside of her ship right there, and we have to do a very well-timed slide boost off here to get inside the ship. But there's still some nonsense that can happen after that, so we'll see what happens. Whoop! That was close! Okay, now we have to hope that Cooper grabs the wall right here, because he doesn't like to. Yeah, he did it. Now, this is room clear. So how room clear works is there are... wow, that guy just, like, folded in half. There are a couple... or there are a group of enemies that the 6-4 are scripted to kill by themselves. So we're going to kill all the ones that they're not scripted to kill. And then move on to get the last helmet here. Cool. So these guys down here. Now it's these guys up top here. Okay, I'm going to switch to my other gun. Whoops. Nice aim, Brian. Thanks, Brian. Okay, that was pretty fast. So this last helmet is just like Omega out of the way. All the way down here. 6-4 telling me to keep up. It's very sweet of them. Thanks, 6-4. I appreciate that. And then slide hopping back over here is actually the worst because the ship is just like tilting back and forth rapidly, and it can super mess up your timing. Cool. Cool, and this is your typical breach and clear segment that you normally see in most military FPS, but you don't actually need to kill anyone. You just come over here. Now we're going to take our little magical knife that also stabs and hacks things, and we're just going to control the ship with the knife. That's what you call a plot device. So what you need to do here is pilot this ship behind the other ship for whatever reason. Now we're good. And now we have to stand away from the window here, because if we're next to the window when BT's punching it, the game will actually crash the menu due to how Barker skip works. There we go. And now we have the hardest boss fight in the game coming up here. Viper fight is very difficult. This fight's always a little bit of improv based on how these Scorches move, but we'll see what we can do here. Rocket Barrage to do some initial damage to these guys. Switch to Tone. I'm going to try and bait out this guy's Flame Shield. He dashed to the left. Okay, that could be good for me. I'm going to see if I can punch him off. Nice, that's good. There we go, I wanted him to do that. Come on. Okay, I have to not miss a shot here. Nice, this is good so far. Now we're going to Sword Core. Now my missile should come back around and kill him. Oh, dude, that was a good Viper. That was sick, man. That was like, that just went how I wanted it to. I think because I missed Barker skip, I'm still going to be losing time on this segment, but that Viper skip was beautiful. But Viper is not dead. This fight right here in particular is super well choreographed. I'm a big fan of it. It's a pleasure watching this every single time you run this game. It looks so visceral. And then once, there we go. Eventually the hatch opens up and you just shoot Viper in the head. And now the ship is crash landing. We're gonna go get the Arc, which is the power device for the hold weapon, which is that big super weapon right there. So we have time for donations because the rest of this level's on rails.
正接近圣柜的遏制单位。
Greetings from Animal. Long-time runner, second-time donator. I am donating because my donation has died from games.
I 无法到达圣柜，库珀，我需要你的帮忙。 快点，赶快离舰，时间不多了。这边，库珀。
Now using both dialogue options here is faster than using none, so we're gonna do that.
你在做什么？
协议3，
把圣柜弄出去！
不行，我们被困住了。我不会失去另一位体育的。准备撞击。
And let it be known that PB is possible if I gold this next segment by 2 seconds, but it's probably not going to happen. That said, really quality run. This has been a very, very good run. So what happens in this load screen here is the ship crash lands, and then the Apex Predators capture both Cooper and BT. BT has the power source for the fold weapon inside of him, and the IFC, or the Apex Predators are trying to get it out.
IMC 就会转账给你，准备好我要的钱，我就会把你珍贵的货物带来，胆小鬼。哎，泰坦。
We definitely have time for more donations here while we wait for this to play out.
语音指令无法辨识。
让我把它给撕了。
这太冒险，深柜人不稳定。听着，大英雄，你有我的东西，我要你把它还给我，快点。 叫你的泰坦打开，
打开他的话匣子吗？
哎，那么想当英雄吗？我靠这份合约赚了不少钱，我的朋友。告诉你的泰坦，他再不打开，我就让你脑袋开花。
How's it going, chat? How you doing?
解域陷入危机，视觉系统达到临界，无法利用视觉找到铁域。
啊，让他站好。
Hi, Phoenix. Hey, Inksy.
看到他了没？在这里，在
Yeehaw, Nito.
这里。
Please don't get me, Jojo.
功能受严重冲击伤害影响。
我知道这里面还有
Playing Harvest Moon? Awesome, Mutsubu.
快打开，不然我让你的铁玉脑袋开花。你还记得数字不是吗？我说数到3。
It's up very, very rainy.
2、3。
Real fish, as people have been showing in chat there, it is in a different language because it's faster. Hey guys, long-time runner, fourth-time runner. It gives me a great joy to kill a great cause. Greetings from Animal. PS, donate to Germany, kill the games. Dang. Alright, so this is a pretty brutal segment here, but trust me, we will have revenge. So there's a pretty cool strat coming up here that was found by Jetsa, and I super appreciate it. If you hold backwards into the fire here and then almost die, and then walk forward, it saves about 5 seconds or so of waiting for BT to talk to you. And while we don't save any time to dialogue in that entire cutscene, we do save like 2.5 seconds to this dialogue right here. So BT is gonna rip off his face here for us, which is very kind of him. And inside of his face here is what's called the Seer Kit, or the Survive, Evade, Resist, Escape Kit. And so this kit contains his data core, which contains his entire AI, as well as the smart pistol, which is a literal aimbot pistol that is in multiplayer. And also, like, there's this line that one of the characters in Apex Legends has that says there's no such thing as auto-aim, ladies. But, like, there's literally an aimbot pistol in both of Respawn games. So, you know, I don't know why they would include that. SMH. Anyway, so we have all of our gear. We're ready to go. We're going to come down here and stab and hack this thing to make the door open. And this segment is a little bit difficult because we don't have our double jump for the first part, and this staircase is brutal. Please don't bonk. Nice, that was smashed. So the movement through here is actually pretty neat. I enjoy this level quite a lot for movement. And the helmets on it aren't too bad either, aside from the first one. That was really fast. And I like grabbing the zipline because I'm a Pathfinder main, and also it's faster. Can do some tap strafes around here if I don't, you know, mess up, which I did. Get a little edge boost off the wall here. An edge boost occurs when you jump off the, like, a corner of a wall. Kind of similar to an end boost where, like, you're jumping off the wall as you're leaving it sort of thing, but it is functionally different. Here's the first helmet right here, and this helmet is really, really annoying due to the way that this pipe is, like, curved. But sometimes we just want to be able to kind of like get up to the top here, mantle, cool. So that's about as good as we can ask for. Doing that helmet smoothly is a big ask. And getting it with a single mantle in there is fine. So we're going to install the data core inside this new Titan here. We got BT with a fresh coat of paint.
Hi, 杰克。
Hello, BT. And if we walk around the back of BT here, we can actually skip some dialogue and just get in immediately. Now we're going to swap to tone and gain core as quickly as possible. So we're going to use that by stacking multiple missile barrages here. We're going to do this first one, or not. This first one, there we go. And then this guy usually dashes backwards. There we go. Now we're going to switch to Ronin, and then sword core through this whole next segment. And coming up here is one of the most important skips in the entire game, door skip. This is a huge skip that ends up saving a few minutes of like a random Titan fight here. I'm very grateful that we have it. And it's a very important skip to this game, even though it doesn't look like much. So we're going to swap to a Titan that has the flight ability. And we'll come over here and just fly, and we just go straight through the top. Now this is a very difficult Titan or helmet route, where we want to dash on here and then dash up here. We didn't get the dash up, that's fine. And we missed the disembark jump. Okay, that's fine. So we got the really, really slow variant here. And that's okay. That's a very hard helmet to get properly. So that's the second helmet. There's one more left before we have successfully collected all the helmets. Those guys have rocket launchers and can sometimes kill you. Very spooky. We're gonna be doing another edge boost here. And then let's see, I kind of botched this route. That's okay. Okay, we're improvising now. So this is definitely, whoop! I can say that this is definitely not going to PB this run, for anybody that was hoping for that. This is not on gold pace for sure. And there it is, that's all the helmets. We officially have all the helmets collected. Now we just need to beat the game as fast as possible. So this is Sloane fight. Sloane fight is divided into 3 different phases. We have to get Sloane to a certain health increment, and then she'll teleport away and spawn into new enemies. And we're going to be manipulating the spawn of every single enemy that comes in. Unfortunately, I have the wrong Titan loadout out right here, which is fine. I'm just going to switch to Scorch. Assuming, you know, I can actually do that. There we go. Alright, that was fast. Could be one of those guys to spawn there, that's good. That was pretty quick, alright. Now we're gonna wait for Sloane to spawn here, and Sloane is invincible for the first few seconds. Oh, whoops. I was looking too far down, that's okay. This will still be fast. Sloane's invincible for the first few seconds after she spawns, so you have to wait a little bit there. Now here come the 3 Reapers, 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Now we'll swap back to Scorch. Get Sloane to spawn over here. Alright, then we gotta wait. Now we'll switch to Ronin here. Now what's gonna happen is we're gonna use Sword Core right before we do this animation here. And this is gonna have some very interesting effects on the game. So, for some reason, when you activate Sword Core and then pull out the arc injector there, you have your gun out here. And having your gun out is not intentional, and for some reason, this is going to transfer over to the next segment where our BT boots back up, and now we have a gun here. And so what's about to happen here is our main antagonist in the game, Blisk, is going to disembark from his Titan and deliver his final evil monologue. But we have our gun out, so what we're going to do instead is we're just going to kill him. He's just going to die. And what happens is, as soon as he dies, the game skips all of his dialogue and then progresses forward. And this saves upwards of 33 seconds, which is amazing. And as Fun Cannon noted at SGDQ 2019, it is a miracle that this doesn't soft lock the game. This is amazing. So now BT has 4 arms. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And we've officially made Apex Legends non-canon, so you're welcome. Now we just gotta remember to hold W here. We're going to be choosing a dialogue option at the top here, which is about 3 seconds faster than not choosing it. And we'll be down to the final run of the game. So BT is going to throw himself into the fold weapon to sacrifice himself and blow up the planet to save the planet of Harmony. And that'll be, and then we'll be close to the end of the game. So we definitely have time for donations as this plays out. Goodbye, BT. Here we go. So this is the final run of the game. Has some pretty spooky strats, to be honest. We'll see what we can do here. I'm gonna go for a swag strat at the end too, for sure. Okay, didn't get the wall kick there, that's fine. Now we can't hold crouch here for some reason. We have to hold space so we get the proper slide. Now the upward momentum of this wall here as we jump off it is going to like boost us upward. We have to be careful not to overshoot this. Nicely done. Now here comes the swag strat right here. We'll hit this at this angle. Pop! And then we'll just come on, move out to the side over here. Boom! Time! And I have to say, so let me just say this really quick. That's a 124.01. If I didn't PB, like literally right before I did this run, that would have been a world record. Like I literally PB'd right before I did the submission run. So if I had not done that, that's a world record. That's just sick, dude. That's so sick. That's really, really cool. Radical. Yeah, 124.01. And let us verify that we have all the helmets, which we do. All the helmets have been collected. And that was a very successful run of Titanfall 2 all helmets. Thank you, submission staff, for viewing. I appreciate everything you guys do, and I hope this was a good case for Titanfall 2 all helmets being at AGDQ 2020. Thank you very much, and hopefully I will see you guys in Orlando. Peace.